All right, yo. So I got a lot of back testing to do. Figured I'd throw on the camera and just record it because why not? I'm gonna be doing week 26 of this year. I think that was 2 weeks ago to date right now. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just try to knock out a good chunk of it. I have a lot of back testing to do. I'm like a good week or two behind. I've had a crazy ass couple weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna just try to knock out at least a decent chunk of it. I already did a couple trades today, and yeah, I'm gonna just try to what's it called? At least finish this one week 26 at the bare minimum. Bro, I'm crushing the hell out of this Panda Express right now, bro. So what I'm gonna be doing is just thinking out loud. Um, yeah, just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, how I'm looking at markets and stuff. So yeah, I'm just jump into it. I'm gonna be doing starting on Tuesday. Uh, so this would be June, no 30th. Yeah. All right. So boom. Daily time frame is what I'm starting my analysis from. I'm gonna go daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. Daily, I'm leaning definitely bullish. Broke below this new week opening gap here, but then immediately closed right back above it, showing a lot of strength. We are in a bearish fair value gap on both assets. I currently don't care about that, mainly because how strong of a candle closure we got from yesterday's candle. There's also this pretty prominent buy side right here. This is I'm expecting that to get hit. There's currently an SMT right now. ES already took this high. I'm not too worried about it. I still would rather go long here in this scenario. 4 hour time frame again looks very bullish. Nice strong candle closure here. A little bit of weakness. So ES, we have not closed above this 4 hour. NQ we have. We're respecting this current 4 hour on both assets. So I'm leaning bearish. I'm leaning bullish again. To me, this is still a pretty prominent high that I would ideally want to target. To me, it's also looking like around consequent encroachment for this fair value gap on the damn near on the money, bro. So 50% level of this 4 hour gap, that kind of adds to my confluence. Yeah, to me, I definitely got a bullish bias. Let me go ahead and write some of this down. I'm going really detailed for this back testing session. I just want to get better at using my brain, bro. I feel like usually I be, taking screenshots and then that's it. I don't even have nothing in my analysis. I want to be able to look back on these trades, study them, and know what my thought process was, and then it helps my brain kind of clear out what I'm trying to say too. So, or what I'm trying to think. So yeah, leaning bullish. Let me actually finish looking at the 1 hour time frame. Definitely bullish between the daily and the 4 hour. Early strong 1 hour closure down low. A damn Panda Express box is blocking my monitor. I can't even see all the way. All right. One thing I'm noticing off the Heezy right here, 1 hour gap. This is unmitigated, and the reason I find that to be somewhat important to note is because if I'm seeing I'm bullish. I want this target up here to get hit. That's my drawn liquidity for the day. I want to see some kind of manipulation first. Technically, we get manipulation right here with London, but I think for me to go long, I'd want to see stronger manipulation down here to London low. Asia low, because then we're getting a sweep of this session low. Plus, we're mitigating this 1 hour gap. There's also this one down here. Although I really only need this one to take the trade. If it we'll see how it reacts. But if it just retests this 1 hour gap right here and continues higher, I'm willing to take that trade. I want to see the same thing generally on ES. What's it called? Asia low. That's kind of my analysis right now. I'm going to go ahead and delete this new week opening gap since we know where that's at on a higher time frame. It's getting in the way. So 1 hours, this is kind of going to be my point of entry for the day, trying to target this buy side up here at 263. So I'm going to scale down, kind of see what happens. I would not mind taking a counter trend trade, only because there's this 30-minute gap. I'm expecting price to go higher generally for the day, but I'm also expecting price to manipulate and take out Asia low first. Plus, with this 1 hour closure right here, it's a strong 1 hour, very strong 1 hour closing completely below the London low. I low-key might take a counter trend trade here if I get a nice reaction out of this 30-minute gap to go lower, targeting Asia low. I would not run or hold this trade as a runner down. There's no other targets. As soon as Asia lows hit, I'm out. At the bare minimum, I'm moving to break even. So we'll see how this reacts. So NQ is trading way above it. ES is looking like it kind of wants to respect it. I'm going to go ahead and take a note of that. I just had a brain fart right there. Oh, that's a 30. Another thing I noticed, 1 hour time frame. Nah, never mind. I lied. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, I lied. My fault. So yeah, I'm just going to see how this reacts first. Okay, my target's already taken for the day on NQ. Let me double check to see if there's any more targets worth targeting. The only thing I'm seeing on the 4 hour is this 4 hour gap fill. Potentially a target if I see strong candle closures higher still. So I'm going to do 4 hour. That was a 4 hour, not a 1 hour. I would potentially target that. We'll see. And then another thing is, actually, I don't need that. Well, yeah, let me do this. Take note of this as an external draw on liquidity. This would be an unmitigated 4 hour. So these are potential targets, but they're definitely a good ways away. And now we're also inside of this daily gap. At this point, I'm going to be honest, I'm leaning a little bearish, to be honest. I would not be surprised if price inverts this daily gap at the end of the day, just because of the sheer momentum we currently have currently with the last candle closure on a daily time frame. But I want to keep in mind we're taking a drawn liquidity right here, a major one, inside of a 4 hour and a daily fair value gap and a 1 hour fair value. That's not a, this is supposed to be 4 hour. So yeah, that's something I really want to keep in mind. Let me see if I see a lot of rejection on this 30-minute gap on ES, I think I'm gonna go short. I'm already seeing an SMT right here, obviously. Right, so session highs were taken on NQ. ES is lagging pretty strong. Okay, so at this point, that looks pretty good for me. Wow, damn, I forgot to take screenshots of the higher time frames. Damn it, dog, I didn't. That's kind of annoying. We'll put the point of interest screenshot right there. Let me do this real quick. Quick screenshots. We got 1 hour. Let's do 4 hour. Let me fix this. Bear with me. I should have done this earlier. I forgot. Daily time frame. Oh shit. Bias has flipped to bearish now that bearish SMT inside of a 4-hour and daily bearish fair value gap with decent sell side targets resting below. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and, so obviously we know the 30 minutes being respected. I'm going to go ahead and see if there's an entry. I love the SMT here. My draws and liquidity are based off of NASDAQ right here, because obviously Asia load hasn't been taken on either asset, but I really like also that Asia low is right near these unmitigated gaps on NASDAQ. So the confidence in the draw and liquidity mainly comes from NASDAQ, but I'm going to be executing on ES because it's looking a lot more bearish, and I'm going short. Mind you, this is if I get an entry. It's not looking like I will, although actually I just got one here. So this would be technically an inversion. Right? Did that fully invert the gap? It did. I'm low-key taking this. I ain't gonna lie. Although, it definitely took that target, but barely. I don't know. Actually, I lied. I'm not taking this. I'm going to wait it out a little bit. If I miss it, I miss it. But I don't like that there's basically equal highs up here. I want this drawn liquidity to be taken with a lot more force. Okay, cool. Otherwise, had it really took it aggressively and gave me a solid entry, I would have took it. But I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been a loss. That was a nice loss prevented right there. So clearly it's looking like it wants to go higher. This 30-minute close tells the whole story. These gaps up here were less strong of drawn liquidities for me, but given how close we are and we just printed this gap right here, I'm willing to go long. I think I low-key just probably missed that. No, I haven't missed anything. It was a 5-minute. Fuck, I low-key missed it. So I'm definitely, I look like a madman switching my biases like crazy. I never do this, but now bullish again because, geez, bro, because price printed 30-minute reversal, and made relative equal highs on NQ. I'll say this though, bias confidence is moderate, not strong, only because of the higher time frame gaps. And I can't type for shit, so we're just gonna fix that up. Boom, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning bullish now. This is gonna be my point of interest. Screenshot right there. I would like to get in off the 1 minute, the 5-minute fair value gap right there. Let me see if there's a entry. No, low key, there was kind of an entry here, but nah, not really. There wouldn't have been a retest anyway. So what I'd like to see now is some type of retracement into a gap. So 10-minute time frame. This is going to be the most prominent gap right here. Then on ES, it'd be this one for the 10-minute. Let's see what the 15 is looking like. 15. So I'm not paying attention to the 10-minute gap on NQ anymore, mainly just because there's this 15-minute now that's fully put in. ES hasn't fully formed a nice 15-minute yet, so I'm going to wait on that. Okay, now it officially has. So I'd ideally want to see a retrace into this 15-minute gap right here. And that would be my point of interest to go longer, go higher or go long, whatever. I just mixed that up. And then these will be my targets up here. Once the 4-hour gap fill is taken, at that point, my day is over. I don't really feel like chasing, which is looking like it's about, yeah, there it goes. So could I wait around? It's 10:30. Could I wait around for looking for another entry? Potentially. The only other thing I'm seeing is the mitigation of this 4-hour that I previously marked up, and if this Asia high is not, yeah, it is still relevant. Asia high is prominent enough for me to target, but that's really the last attempt for me. If I don't get a good retracement to get into this trade, I'm done. At this point, I'd rather see a retracement into a 30-minute gap. Now that so much time has went by, I want to see a decent sized correction. I'm not worried about this 30-minute anymore. See if we can get it about the same as the 15. So we're just gonna see if we get a retracement. Looking like we are. Hasn't tapped it yet. No shot we take that draw on liquidity without. Yeah, wow, okay. That had to have been something you retested off of. Nothing. Not a single gap other than this little ass recycled 5-minute gap, which wouldn't be good enough for me. Yeah. Came back down into the same gap that it already expanded out of. I would not be looking for a trade in there. Not to say you can't, but yeah, no. And plus, it's 11:35. Yeah. All right, so that's boom. Long ass day, but yeah, nothing there. So we're just skipping to the next day. Okay. All that work down the drain. But you know what I mean? That's just a part of the game. This is what it takes. I want to be as thorough as possible. So boom, right? We did end up taking all of these draws in liquidity. Boom. Inverted that gap. At this point, it's going to be acting as an inverse. Currently, right now, looking at the daily time frame, I'm leaning bullish just because of this crazy momentum up higher the past 2 days, inverting this daily gap. The next real draw I see outside of today's target would be this one. We're still a decent ways away from it, so I'm not too concerned with that. But ideally, I just want to target up here. This would probably be Asia or London high. So yeah, this would be a bullish bias so far, looking at the daily time frame, following the trend. 4-hour time frame, still bullish. Obviously, clear as day, we're in an uptrend. Price is coming down to retest this 4-hour gap. Technically has not closed above this gap, but we inverted this one down here, so I'm pretty bullish. Yeah, still very bullish on the 4-hour time frame. No reason to look for shorts. I think I already, yeah, took 2 daily screenshots. It's all good though. It's all good though. And last but not least, the 1-hour time frame. Looking a little bit more bearish on NQ. I want to keep in mind of this gap. See if this ends up holding. This is a 30-minute from yesterday. There's no 1-hour other than this one. I'm not too concerned with. So this Asia high, this Asia low is still open. This is closed. Let me just mark out my levels real quick. The Asia high, and then all right, that was tedious, but these are going to be very important levels. I'm also seeing relative highs right here. Stacked highs. I'd like to target all this up here. These are high quality targets for me, given that we're in this much of an uptrend and we're inside of these gaps. Take a screenshot real quick of this. And I'm going to write down here. Honestly, market open, I have a strong bullish bias, just following the trend on. Jeez, bro. On the higher time frames, and the price is currently trading inside of a 1 hour and 4 hour gap with high quality draws and liquidity higher. Cool. I cannot type for shit, so y'all just bear with me, bro. All right. I wouldn't mind using this 1 hour as the point of interest. The only thing I don't like about it is that we're right at market open. Ideally, I don't like trading at market open, and we're already in this point of interest, which is where I'd be looking for an entry. I don't know that I'm quite ready to look for an entry just yet at market open, but depending on how this gap gets respected, I'm also looking at and keeping close eye on this 30-minute gap, which is going to be doing the same job as this 1 hour on the NASDAQ. Okay, this actually looks really good for me so far. 10 minutes past market open. There's an entry. If there's an entry inside of this 30-minute gap, I would take this trade on ES, mainly because it's having a nicer rejection. It's more bullish overall. Technically, no SMT, but it's looking a lot more bullish. So I'm going to take on ES if there's an entry. So boom, nice rejection. Took a screenshot of that. I would not mind entering off of this gap if I get it. So over here, NASDAQ, this would be the only one. I'd like to see an inversion on both indexes. Wow, that was not drawn out correctly. There you go. I want to see a entry on both, but I'm taking it on. Oh, do we have a strength switch? Okay, nice. We got it on both. There's been a little bit of a strength switch, but I'm going to try to simulate real live trading, which gives me only a couple of seconds to think. So I'm going to go ahead and just target a 2R on ES, because last I checked, which was literally like 30 seconds ago, it was more bullish. Although this entry looks slightly better, that's crazy. Looks slightly better on NASDAQ, but currently it's too small of a difference for me to notice or care. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this on ES. This is a good entry right here. See how this plays out real quick before anything. My manual break even point would be, I'm already at 1R anyway, so I guess I'm at break even. I'm actually not at break even. Where's my entry? This would probably be where I'll go break even. Once I get a full, ideally a closure above this 5-minute gap. Is there a 10-minute? 10-minute. Yeah, I want to see a closure above that 10-minute gap. Ooh, see, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you see how on the point of interest time frame, the 30-minute, or I guess the 1 hour / 30-minute, NQ's looking a lot more bearish. ES looking like it's wanting to respect this gap a lot more. It's way closer. It's actually trading above London and Asia low. Asia low up over here is way higher on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is looking a lot more bearish. ES looking a lot more bullish. You would think, okay, let me go ahead and take the trade on. Let me go ahead and take the trade on, on ES. I take the trade on ES, and right upon entry, like the exact minute of entry, we get a strength switch that puts NASDAQ in front. It's looking more bullish on NASDAQ now. But those are the kind of things you can't predict. If you can, I haven't figured it out. So at this point, I'm break even. It doesn't matter. Hopefully this trade can just play out. And there you go. Plays out. Nice winning trade right there. Go ahead and measure. Just measuring how far it really went up for data purposes. So Asia high was, I believe, the external target. That was at 2.7, so not quite TP2. Okay, there's definitely more targets higher. Damn, I look like this as a target. The mitigation of this 30. I'm out of the trade at this point, so I'm low-key just wasting time. Okay, hold on, I lied. Okay, we took it on the right asset, all right? Asia high up here. NASDAQ is nowhere near Asia high. What the hell? Oh, nowhere near Asia high. Wow, we've already cleared it on ES. So never mind. I take that strength switch back. We are definitely executing on the right asset right there. So that's a good trade. I'm gonna go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Let me see how far up it went. That probably would have been my external target. At this point, I'm gonna just call it TP2. So boom. So nice little trade right there. Let me go ahead and log this. This would have been 1 minute time frame. This would have been 9:43. Would have been the fill. 9:43 to 10:05. Cool. Uh, 10:03 is what I said. 10:05. 10:05. 10:05. Cool. Boom. For the day, I was bullish. I had a strong conviction. I don't know if I actually specifically stated, but I was pretty confident in that. I'll go ahead and say I had a strong confidence in that bias. External draw. Point of interest was a fair value gap. There wasn't an SM. Was there? Yeah, no technical SMT, but it was big divergence in behavior, and it was a 30-minute and a 1 hour. Entry confluence was, I believe, just an inversion. Yeah, just an inversion. So entry confluence, IFEG. My entrance on the position was an IFEG on the 1 minute time frame. This ended up being a win, and price ended up getting all the way up to TP2. I did get the bias correct. External draw liquidity was that 30-minute fair value gap, like I mentioned. You technically could call up here at 30-minute. External draw liquidity, but that's probably not even getting hit that same day. So I'm gonna call it yes. External draw liquidity was taken. What is happening? 2R. That would have been more than 2R, but we're just doing that for simplicity. Now the things I want to log here were boom. These are personal. If you're watching, don't even worry about these, but these are personal tags that I use for logging data. Damn, maybe nothing applied. I know I flipped my bias. Did I? Or was that the other day? I think that was the other day. Yeah. So. Oh, I did have a strong bullish bias. Okay. So no tags necessary for this trade. Go ahead and take a screenshot. I think I low-key already did, but definitely took this on the right asset. Cool. All right, keep pushing. Good shit. Okay. Hopefully I get another no trade day because I want to finish this week backtesting, but this is taking a long ass time. So I really want to be done with this soon so I can enjoy my panda. Mm, this divergence is crazy. Still leaning bullish. ES is respecting this as an inverted fair value gap. Technically, NQ is doing the same, just severely lagging. 4-hour time frame. Wasn't this yesterday? Am I bugging? Yeah, no, I'm bugging. Damn, all right, so we're still in that same gap. I don't really have a reason to believe it won't hold. It already held. Coming back to retest it again on NQ. Basically the same exact bias and price action as yesterday. Take a screenshot of this. Daily time frame. I say I lean bullish. I got a moderate bullish bias. The only reason it's moderate is because of the divergence in price action. We're literally trading lower on NASDAQ while we're trading higher on that. Bro, my dumbass, bro. That's why it looks the same, bro. I didn't even go to the new session. I could have sworn I did. I think that's some wild shit right there. All right, we'll start over. Inverted this gap again. ES trading way above it. Yeah, this is a nasty divergence. Low-key still lean a little bit bullish. One thing I'm noticing is these relative equal highs up here. Looks like a good target. I would love to just blindly target this on ES, but I don't like how NASDAQ is looking. NASDAQ looking like it's struggling a little bit more. There is this tiny ass fair value gap right here. That's kind of low-key being respected right here. So all right, what I don't love about going long here is all this low resistance liquidity on ES. Crazy ass wick here on NASDAQ. Everything looks bearish outside of the uptrend on ES and these relative equal highs. I'm probably going to end up just treading cautiously here. So if I did go lower, no, I don't want to go lower. This is a good target to me. I already had this marked out. This is that New York AM high that barely low-key never got took. What is this? Why is this here? That was irrelevant. All right, I got a weak bullish bias. Not quite strong enough for me to actually take a trade, but I do suspect we'll end up going long in the long run. How does a 30-minute look? Not too good. Huge rejection wick here. I'm not liking that. Damn near an inversion, or actually a literal inversion here with this gap. It's going short the moves. Let me see. All I'm going to do is just see how this gap right here reacts. This is going to be, yeah, this is going to be what my decision gets made off of. If I see ES really respect the hell out of that thing and expand out of it with speed, I'd be willing to go ahead and target these relative highs despite NASDAQ looking like this. It would just be not the highest conviction trade. I mean, we're actually respecting the hell out of this thing already. I keep forgetting to take screenshots. What is this? That's the daily. One hour. Four-hour. Yeah, 4-hour looks wild. I ain't gonna lie. Daily, 1 hour, and then just be the 4-hour in the middle. All right. Point of interest is currently being respected. I just don't like this wick. This is a huge wick. So I'm not taking no mediocre entry. I need to see a really strong entry here. the 1 minute time frame. That is a damn, I missed it. A really good entry right here. That was already respected. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's right at market open. I might have to fade this one. Of course, it goes without me. All right, that created some good distance. There are five. Nope, no 5 minute. I still like the idea of targeting those relative equal high. Okay, never mind. It's already taken. Whoa, that would have been a banger. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna log this. I'm gonna say, okay, first of all, moderate bullish bias to the relative equal highs on yes. Literally the only thing is trending. Got a good enough rejection. So I'm actually low-key gonna completely log this trade. Like completely. Yes. To our right here. External target was these relative equal highs. That was just under TP2, so I'll just log it as that. So this was Wednesday. First, no. Hold on, gang. What day is it? Thursday. Yeah, I'm tweaking. So this is Thursday. This trade was Wednesday. That's what the hell it was. All right, so boom. Log this hoe. $9.31. Hit take profit at 9.41. 10-minute trade. Had a strong bullish bias. No, I lied. I had a moderate bullish bias. Went long off of a fair value gap with an SMT. SMT, I know I had one. Well, there's one right here off the Heezy right here. Off the rips. That was an entry one. That was an entry SMT. That was a lower time frame SMT. Hold on, gang. Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely an SMT here. Boom. Yeah, that's what it is. So there was a SMT on the point of interest time frame, 30-minute, and the lower time frame, which is the 1 minute. So boom, yep. 30-minute fair value gap with an SMT. Entry was a damn inversion with technically displacement. There's a small little bullish gap that was created there. So inversion with displacement. And I would have been able to catch that entry too there. So that would have been inversion with displacement and an SMT. I got in off the IFEG, or at least that's where my limit order would have been. Could have also gotten off the fair value gap, and I think, let me take a screenshot too, by the way. Could have got in off the order block on both assets. We'll go ahead and mark that. And one thing I'm trying to, I think I'm trying to get better at. Okay, yeah, never mind. That disregard what I was about to say. So boom, that's it. Did not mean to do market execution. Although low key, I probably could have. Yeah, I could have definitely market executed that. So we'll leave it. 1 minute time frame. Skipped. TP2. We'll just go ahead and say these were done because they basically were. Didn't make anything from this trade. This was market open. Anything else? Did I take any heat on this trade? No. Technically, no. Low key. Yeah, no, that's all I got. Skipped due to the trade being at market open. Otherwise, flawless setup I would have taken any other day, just not at market open. Too much volatility at market open, man. It's just too unpredictable. Too many stop hunts. I'm not with all that, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe. This was a skip the trade, and we can just rest in the encouragement that we had the correct bias. At this point, 944. Hold on, let me actually still continue the trade. No real targets left on ES other than 599, which is also a psychological level. Keeping that in mind. If I get a really nice strong close on ES on, I'd say the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I might have to go ahead and target that 599. That's a really strong close right there. I like that. So boom. $5.99 level on yes is the primary and final target of the day. Strong bullish bias to that level. Little tiny ass letters. I low-key might stop here and just do Friday another day. This is a very long video. I'm kind of pissed off. I'm just staring at my Panda Express. I can't really eat it because I'm focused on the charts. So I'd want to see something discounted, or honestly, I'm willing to even take a premium point of interest. Oops. I'm willing to take a premium point of interest potentially if I get a rejection out of it, only because of how close we are to this 599 level. Hello. Well, this is a 15. I lied. This is a 10. What does a 15 look like? Yeah, I kind of like that 15. I would love to see a retrace to the 15 minute. For the most part, it is resting primarily and within discount in the range. I don't think I'm willing to take anything on the 5 minute. That would be too short. How's the 30 look? 30 is going to be, 30 hasn't formed yet. So no 30 minute gap yet. Whoa. Go back. So nice rejection off the 10 minute. I think I'd low key take this. No, stop. rather take the 15 though. But if this is how we gonna do it, and no 10-minute on ES, on an NQ. There's inversion gap right here. Damn, not looking nothing on NQ. I'm gonna take a stab at this trade right here. This is also assuming I get an entry. But I like the rejection off of it. Little ass gap. This would be my entry point right here. If I can get it, it's gonna be a very quick break even point. I'm gonna take move my stop to break even as soon as New York AM gets hit. This will be how my trade looks. See if we get an entry. Click the wrong button. Yeah, I'm already knowing I'm not going to get an entry. This is definitely going to be a no entry TP. So external target at 599 wouldn't be a full 2R. So what I would likely do is just hold. This is probably about 2R, 233. I'll try to see if Asia High can get hit. Once this level gets hit, though, I'm obviously going to break even. I'm not getting in this trade anyway. There's no shot. Oh shit! I remember this trade. It's gonna be a losing trade, but I still think I would definitely take this. The only thing I don't like about this trade is that it didn't come down and touch the 15-minute gap. It expanded out of the 10-minute. I would have preferred the 15, but in expansion and an entry signal like this on the 10-minute, and we get it on both assets too. A nice inversion here with a nice retest. That looks amazing right there. Yeah, I would take this trade any day of the week. I would have preferred a 15-minute continuation, but I'll take it. I'll take a 10 minutes. So we're gonna break even at 1R automatically, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna go break even here, and I kind of know how this trade is gonna end up playing anyway because I took this. Yeah, got smoked. So the fact that I took this on back testing and I don't see anything wrong with it, I would take this trade again. That goes to show me that the trade I took live right there, I took that trade live. That's a good trade to take because I took it on back testing. I'm trying to get as close as I can to trading how I back test, and especially because this never got had this been taken. Did it? No, I didn't see it. Never got took. Still relative equal highs right there. So I'm taking that trade any day of the week. Had that New York AM high got taken first before coming down to my entry, I would have canceled that limit order. I'm not taking that. But because it didn't quite take this draw right here, that actually adds more confluence and more conviction for me. It just didn't play out. It happens, whatever. Took a loss. Funny enough, when I was taking this live, I was like, damn, it's definitely going to go down and retest this 15-minute. But yeah, market wasn't trying to have none of that. Wasn't trying to have none of that. I think I ended up even trying to target down here, but never got a good entry. So that's the day. Yeah, we'll go to Friday. I'm looking going to end the video here though, because this is getting long and I'm tired and hungry, and it's just one more day, man. I can do that tomorrow. So let me go ahead and log this joint. Entry was 15. Damn, I should have checked this before I skipped. So exit was at, or entry was at 10:16. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Oh, wait, 22. So 10:22. 10:16 to 10:22. That was annoying. Thursday. No, last week. 10:16. 10:22. Cool. I had a bullish bias. I don't remember if I had a I had a strong bullish bias. It's crazy. To go long, post strong liquidity, no. Target or point of interest was a 10-minute. I don't believe there was a SMT. I don't really feel like checking, to be honest with you. Fuck it, I'll check. There was SMT for that 10-minute. No SMT on the 10-minute. Fair value gap was a 10-minute. Bro, did I not just click that? And then my entry confluences were inversion, displacement. There was a market structure shift, I believe. At least a change in the state. I'm going to go ahead and say a market structure shift. So market structure shift, inversion, displacement. Was there SMT low key? No, there was no SMT. Market structure shift, inversion was a displacement. I got in off the inversion. Was there any other opportunity? I mean, it was a losing trade anyway, but I guess I could have entered off the fair value gap and order block. So we'll go ahead and do that. All would have been a loss anyway. 1 minute time frame, this was a loss. Because to nothing there. It was just a loss. Bias was incorrect. External draw was not taken. -1R. This was below. This was a DC comp, I believe. I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it closed below a gap. It did on. Nah. No DC comp. Definitely took some heat on this motherfucker though. Aggressive entry. Only because price had to come down a decent bit to tag me in, so not a bad thing, just something to log. Boom. Damn, I haven't even been checking the news, bro. That's it. Yeah. To me, that's a good loss. A loss that I'll take on the chin every day of the week. And then this will be Friday, which I'm going to do tomorrow. But, yeah. Hopefully, my thought process made sense in the video. The only reason I'm doing this is so you can see, like, how I'm thinking. I'm trying to, part of the reason why it took so long for me to do this video is because, or how, part of the reason it took so long to me to backtest just 3 trades, because I'm thinking out loud for everything. I'm not letting anything slide under the rug. Anything I think about, I'm writing it down. So I want to know my full thought process. I also take all this data and I have AI analyze it. I got Claude working on that. And so it'll help flag behavioral patterns, directional bias patterns, entry patterns, all technical analysis patterns. It'll find patterns with all of that. So just helps me for my data. That's part of the reason I'm so specific with everything. It'll go in, look at all the properties here, the actual manual, the actual analytical properties. Plus, it'll come in and read all my, what was it, Thursday? It'll read all my my actual analysis on the trade and why I took the trade. So the more data I can feed it, the better it'll be at painting a picture and making me a better trader. So yeah, that's part of the reason I'm so specific with my thought process. But this was ES. I think I took this trade on ES. Yeah, on ES. And I'm going to go ahead and just take the screenshots from here for the higher time frames. And I got to check news later on and plug that information into these trades as well. I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm going to go ahead and call it a week, bro. It's been a long ass week. It's Friday night. I'm trying to just eat my panda and relax. So that's the trade. The 3 trades I took so far. Where are we at? So far, 3R on the week. Really, really good week so far. In real life, if I was in this exact situation, I probably would just take Friday off. 3R on a week is really good for me. No real need to force anything else. Solid week. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna end this video here. Crush this cold ass panda. I gotta throw it in the microwave. So, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna get finished nonetheless. So I'm out. Peace.